Welcome to abs class. Let's get down on the ground. We're gonna prep for it with some dead bugs. So we're gonna get down on our backs. We're gonna get those knees up in the air, nice 90 degrees. So we're gonna work on bracing that core. We're gonna pushing that low back into the ground. All right, almost like you're trying to lift your hips up off the ground. Feel those abs squeeze nice and tight. We'll get those arms extended above us as well. So we're going to do some opposite arm, opposite leg, so that left leg and right arm are both going to fall away from one another. We're going to maintain that core. You can hear myself shaking already. We're going to bring that back up to neutral, still pushing that low back into the ground, going for that other side. The goal here is the longer we get extended, the more we are pushing that low back, creating that tension through that midsection. Bring it back up. We'll go 2 more each side. Don't have to get a lot here if we're very focused and intentful in creating that pressure through that midsection. Breathing out. We'll go 1 more time each side. Driving that arm and leg away from each other. And back up. And 1 last time. Left arm, right leg. Extend. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Back up and relax. All right. That's the main thing here. Creating tension through that midsection is going to be key. Okay, always the first thing. Don't just move through the movements. Be active in the movement. So today's game plan. If you were here last week, this will be very similar. We have 60 seconds of work, kind of like the EMOM. We're going to have 1 movement. We're doing for X amount of reps, and then you have kind of a secondary movement to fill out the rest of that 60 seconds. You do have some rest time built in, 15 seconds at a time. If you get lost, just follow along with me. I'll let you know everything that's happening right before it happens. Okay? First movement, we have some good old-fashioned crunches. Figure we'll ease our way into it. So a few different ways to do it. You can get those arms up, and we can do the hands behind the head, or we can do cross body here. Just nice, easy crunches, pulling up. Or we can do this version sitting up here. All right, either one of those is going to be fine. We are going for 30-3-0. Once you finish all 30, we're just going to be holding that top position for the remainder of that 60 seconds. Okay? If it doesn't make sense, it's fine. Do 30 crunches and just work your abs for the rest of the time. All right, get ready, get set, and 2, 1. Go. We've got 30 crunches, nice and easy. We are looking to get those shoulder blades up off the ground if possible. Just nice, strong crunches here. As bigger range of motion as you can put on it, the better. Once you finish all 30, we're going to be holding that top position of that crunch. Working up quite a bit of that upper ab region on these. I'm going to go last 5 reps here. And once you get that last one, we're holding up here. We got 10 seconds. Again, just like those dead bugs, really push that low back into the ground. Squeeze those abs nice and tight for 3, 2, 1, and relax. So we got 15 seconds to hang out, just enough. We're going to do that exact same thing 1 more time. So hopefully you're ready for that. Get a chance to breathe, or recenter yourself. Let's get back down, get after it in 2, 1, and let's do it. So another 30 reps. Minute of work here, 15 seconds of rest. Very short rest time, but know how you folks are with your abdominals. You're like all out, no rest ever. So we'll get you as much of that as we can manage. Just be very conscious of how you're holding your head and your neck, all right? We're not pulling on that head as we sit up. All right, we're trying not to strain that neck as we come up either. Keeping a nice neutral neck. Think about that space between your chin and your chest. Once you get all 30, you're going to be up for a hold.
10 seconds left to hold. Again, pressing that low back into the ground. Take away all that space underneath you. Pull those abs for 3, 2, 1, and rest.
All right, give you a chance to shake that out. Second movement we're going to be going into is Russian twist with a V-sit hold. So a couple ways to go about this Russian twist. We're going to have both feet down on the ground. We're going to have one foot down, one foot up, or both feet up, whichever your preference is. Rotating side to side, again, our count is 30, okay? Each hip touch counts as 1, so 15 each direction. What I do not want to see is this, all right? We're going to take the momentum out of that, and we're going to be focused on contracting us across. You're not contractually obligated to do it, but you're going to be getting all the way to that hip, pull with those obliques to get you to that other side, all right? So try to take away that stretch reflex of just twisting and winding back and forth like ping pong ball, but actively pulling yourself across. 30 of that. Once you finish your 30, you're going to be kind of in that same position. We're just leaning back into kind of a modified V-sit hold. Okay, that's for the rest of that 60 seconds. Sound good? Again, 2 rounds of that back-to-back. We'll get ready in 5. Get ready in 3, 2, 1, and let's do it. We've got 60 Russian twists. I'm sorry, we got 30 Russian twists, which is 15 each side. Again, focus on control, getting all the way across here. Breathing each time. Very slight pause at the end of range of motion for each direction. And again, once you get to your 30, which should be somewhere around now, we're just going to be holding that V-sit or that modified V-sit for the last 20 seconds of this section. Breathing, still keeping those abs nice and tight. Again, just like that dead bug. The one thing about pushing that low back out, pulling those abs in tight for 5, for 3, 2, 1, and rest. Sitting up nice and tall, get some length through that abdomen. We got that exact same thing one more time. 30 more twists with that V hold at the end. Ready in 3, 2, 1. Let's go for it. Intentional about those twists. The more that we lean back into that, the more challenging it's going to be. If you have an extra weight lying around, if you want to hold that, you can. If you do, want to make sure that weight stays nice and close to us. All right, don't just move those arms. All right, move that weight from side to side, actively rotating through that weight or with that weight. Once you finish your 30 twists, you're onto that V-sit hold. Finish up my last 2 there. We're going to get into that position, get about 15 seconds to hold. Breathing through. Still with those nice tight abs. We've got 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, take a minute. Extend that good old abdomen right there. And a quick pause on that. We're going to move to our next set, which is going to be some leg lifts in a plank position, followed by a nice lateral plank. Okay, so you can do this in a high plank position on your hands, or we can go low, either way. We are going to get in this plank position, and we are alternating these leg lifts. Okay, so we just kind of worked a lot on that hip flexor. Think about this as a way of extending that hip flexor and getting a nice good glute squeeze. All right, so things I do not want to see is just doing this, okay, or getting like this. All right, there's going to be a very controlled lift, right, through that glute, squeezing your glute. If you're not feeling it in your glute, your booty muscle, then we need to refocus and make sure it's that single joint moving at the hip. Once we finish our 20 lifts, 10 each side on this one, we're just going to rotate over and holding a lateral plank. Pick an arm, whichever arm, we'll be moving to the other arm on that second set. Okay? So, let's get up, let's get after it. We've got 3, 2, 1. We've got 20 lifts, squeezing that glute at the top of each one. Focus on pulling those abs in nice and tight still. Very controlled movement, limiting that rotation of those hips. Again, think about stretching out the front of that hip flexor. Being in control. Last one here, we're going to go to that lateral plank. And you can keep that arm close, you can keep that arm extended, or wherever you would like to put it. Feet stacked, feet staggered, whichever way is your preference. Just remember what arm you're on right now. We will be switching here in just a second. In 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. We're going to do the same thing, but our lateral plank is going to be on the other arm. All right. Make sure it doesn't fall down. In 3, 2, 1, let's get it. So if we've talked about these last few weeks here, not about the speed at which we're going through these reps. I want you to focus on the effort that you're putting into each rep. All right? Are we really squeezing that glute? Are we really keeping the focus in that abdomen? Getting as much attention through that body on each rep as possible. Are we just kicking that leg up and going for a swim? Are we up and getting a small hold at the top to take away that momentum? All things to be asking ourselves and to check in with ourselves as we go. All right, as you get those last few reps, we'll switch over to that lateral plank on your other side. You got about 15 seconds to hold. Actively pressing down into that ground, feeling those obliques. If you're not quite feeling those obliques, we'll kind of turn that chest towards the ground just a little bit. Feel that on the inside. And go ahead and rest. All right, we got just in time for one more pair here. Really quickly, we're going back extensions with a back extension hold. So we're going to finish strong on the back side. We're going to be going into Supermans. Okay, so first round, we're going to be alternating that left and right side with that hold. All right, that second round, we'll do all of it together. Okay, so let's get up, or let's get down on our bellies. We've got 3, 2, 1, go. Alternating sides here. We've got 10 each direction for 20 total reps. Just like that glute squeeze that we just focused on. Still hitting the glute squeeze here. Just getting a little bit more into that low back. So not swimming away with this, but getting a small hold at the top of each one. Once you get all 20, all 4 limbs, both arms, both legs, are coming up into a back extension hold. You're going to be looking right here. So this one, kind of the inverse of that dead bug. You're squeezing that low back as tight as you can, pushing that belly button into the ground as hard as you can, holding and squeezing for 5, for 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. A good way to counter all that abdominal work in the front. Let's kind of even it out on the back. So we got one more time, same thing. Instead of alternating left and right, we're going to go all 4 limbs for our 20 reps. All right, let's get down, let's get after it. 3, 2, 1, go. Up and squeeze, just like you're skydiving. So notice a regular habit we all do. We're familiar with the technique. Up and squeeze. And that chest is up off the ground. Those knees are up off the ground. We're really just trying to push our hips and that belly button into the ground. Again, we're going for 20 with a small hold at the top of each one. About 3 more here. And then last one, we're up and hold. You got about 10 seconds. Breathing through that whole time, keeping that tension. We've got final 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, that's going to do it for us for some abs class. Hope you enjoyed. You got those abs worked out. You got that core, that whole pillar worked out. And we'll be back this afternoon for some versatile stretch breaks at 1:50. So make sure you come back and join us.